Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 2017 Entrapment Championships. My name is slicedlime and it will be my pleasure to guide you through this game from the group stage of the tournament. This is the second game in Group D, where we'll see Team Noot in red take on IndianTechSupport in blue. The third team of the group, Barrowcraft, lost their first game against IndianTechSupport and then decided to pull out of the tournament. This means that both of these teams are qualified for the quarterfinals, and this game will determine who will be the winner of the group. Today's game is going to take place on an arena made by Maloma called The Garden. We're joining in the action in round 6. We've had a little bit of damage on Team Noot and not a single piece of damage on IndianTechSupport. Teams have gotten a whole bunch of loot this far in the chests, that being magma blocks, lava buckets, spider spawn eggs, redstone components and pistons in specific, and now in round 6, silverfish blocks, and IndianTechSupport have decided to cover up the entirety of the spawn zone with those silverfish blocks. Now it is up to Team Noot to deal with them and get out of spawn. There's still plenty of spawn safety to go around in this round, but they need to get through this entire wall and get rid of those silverfish. They've opened up a couple of blocks and they're attacking the silverfish, and more are emerging from the blocks because of that. They don't really seem to have a solid plan. Pinchy has some magma blocks, just placing them down now, hoping to get the silverfish to get on top of those blocks and take damage. Of course, more silverfish emerging, and while they still have plenty of spawn safety, will run out eventually. They're not making much headway, and now there's tons of silverfish. They're not taking much damage, and they don't really seem to have a solid plan for this. They are smacking it with pickaxes, with swords, with whatever they have. They're not making much headway, and more are emerging, and now every single block almost is broken free. There's every single block, and the spawn safety is about to run out. The chest also spawned on top of all of those blocks, so now they have access to those. Spawn safety is about to run out. They have to rush out, take a little bit of damage, actually take several hearts of damage from that, and now the silverfish are everywhere and they're trying to make it out into the arena. Wow, that turned into a lot bigger problem than expected. Now we're at the end of round 7 and the team is kind of huddled at the top. They've made some form of a little pathway here. The silverfish are still all over the place though. So IndianTechSupport are going to have to deal with their own silverfish after this switch. They're coming out now and the silverfish are just bearing down on them on back to the spawn zone. Now it's up to them to deal with their own silverfish that they placed last time, but they're all free now. They're not in block form. Sort of smacking them around, not really making any headway. Placing down a shulker box that probably have something in it that they want. There's lava coming down that is bound to be much more effective. Lava being replaced, now it's spreading properly and killing off a whole bunch of these silverfish, and that is a much more effective way to deal with them, and no damage dealt there. IndianTechSupport still at 100% health after escaping into the arena for round 8. Later in round 8, we're watching IndianTechSupport in the middle of the arena. They are harvesting some items and digging around. Toadstimme steps into a lava pool. He sets himself on fire, starts taking immense amounts of damage, desperately has to dash for the pool in the center of the arena, and by the time he reaches it, it's down to half health. Skipping ahead to round 10, no damage dealt since what we saw before. Creepers, skeletons, shulkers and illagers in the chests, and IndianTechSupport have found diamonds. Toadstimme is now down there trying to mine them. He's turned back up after getting a single diamond, but he takes drowning damage on the way up. Quite a lot of it actually, down to 2 hearts only. Heading into round 11, there is now a wall of silverfish blocks again in front of Team Noot. And now they have to deal with all of the silverfish again, and this time they decide to just make a hole and make a run for it. Michi runs out into the arena. The other ones are still in the spawn zone. Now they are making a run for it as well. Take a little bit of damage heading out here actually. quite a lot of damage, and now they're spread across the arena. Don't really seem to have a way out. They're using shields now though to deflect most of the damage, but they are surrounded by silverfish. They are not in an easy situation here, and the path forward has been blocked up. Some of the team have escaped up onto the hill, but two of them are still stuck. I believe it's Michu and Pinji. They are taking more damage, trying to rush away now from the silverfish, can get into the corner and power up. He's taking more damage along the way. He's placed a magma block underneath his own feet, trying to pillar up on it, but the magma block ends up killing him off completely. GG Michu, and IndianTechSupport claims a first victim, Team Noot down to 3 players. We're nearing the end of round 11, and the IndianTechSupport team has now started building an enclosure around spawn in their arena. Lots of wooden planks, blocks coming up, and one gap left. There's a dispenser coming in on the top of that, in the ceiling of this enclosure. This should be very interesting to see what will end up inside of this. They are just completing the last of the enclosure now, filling it in with cobblestone and adding a second layer to make it even more hard to break through. Lever goes down on top of that dispenser, and now mobs are coming in. There are illagers coming in as well as some spiders. Not terribly many, but the round switch happens, and Team Noot are closed in with these mobs. Not terribly many, but they need to get through. There isn't that much spawn safety. Lava bucket goes down, mobs on fire. Most of the mobs just burn up outright. There's a couple of Vexes left, and the lava is still ticking. They're fighting off the Vexes with swords, and they appear to have made a quick work of that. Very nicely handled by Team Noot, neutralizing the trap way before spawn safety is out. Now we're at the end of round 13, and it's Team Noot's turn to use that dispenser and that enclosure that they fixed up to spawn in a whole bunch of mobs. By the sound of things, they've spawned in many more mobs. And now IndianTechSupport are going to suffer the same fate, and we'll have to see how they deal with even more of these mobs. One thing to note is that in between here we have gotten slime and cobwebs in the chest, but also blazes that could become a significant hurdle. Team Noot are using the remaining time of the round to block off any passage into the arena further to make it even harder for the team to progress. Now it's time for IndianTechSupport to try to deal with this. They have illagers, there's skeletons, there's blazes, there's spiders, whole bunch of things. They're spawning in some creepers here. Let's see if they can actually manage to trigger. These could be somewhat effective in getting rid of this. Creeper goes off, another creeper goes off, and it completely clears out the area. There's 1 or 2 blazes, a spider, and some Vexes left. That was an incredible effective counter by IndianTechSupport, escaping completely unharmed from that massive mob trap, and they immediately set to work repairing the enclosure. Later in round 13, now IndianTechSupport are building up this enclosure again, setting up stuff inside of it. There's now 3 dispensers, but one of the teammates dig out a plank block underneath Totestimme, who only had 1.5 hearts left. He falls and dies from the fall damage. GG to him, and IndianTechSupport are down to 2 players. We're now at the end of the round. Here is the full setup of that dispenser trap. Redstone going down with a delay and a pressure plate. Blazes get spawned in from that, but now Chromatus is arming them with something else. We'll see what comes out of that. He gets onto the pressure plates, which of course disables that torch. So now that the time switch happens, timer goes off and lava gets dispensed. That was a very clever way to get around the fact that lava gets cleared when the round switch happens, and Team Noot have not been prepared for this at all. They are now stuck behind an entire curtain of lava, and I don't even know if they saw the lava come down from the dispensers and realized that they can cover it all up easily by placing blocks against the ceiling. They don't know what to do. Spawn safety is running out. Blazes make quick work of Dart Pipe. Only Pinjin wither remain, and they are staring at a curtain of lava and have decided to just try to swim through it. Of course, that's not going to work. The entire team wiped out in one trap. GG, IndianTechSupport takes a second win and secure the group victory.